Hello everyone, nobody here. Does anyone else remember when Radiant Dance Machines came out and people abused Dynamo to get instant supers with it? Until Bungie gave Dynamo a hidden cooldown? I do, those were good times. Losing it was tragic. Or at least it was. See, Dynamo is still a great mod for hunters thanks to the relatively short dodge cooldown, just isn't busted anymore. Sounds like a great build opportunity to me. We'll start with the combat mod section this time. Since we want to dodge as much as possible, and we have to have a void helmet in order to use Dynamo, Reaping Wellmaker is the play. Your next kill after dodging will make a void elemental well. Since the elemental well will be void, we can slap on Well of Utility, which means that picking up a void elemental well will grant class ability energy. This mod can actually be stacked for about 6% energy each copy. So let's grab 4 of those and call it good, right? Not quite. See, stacking 4 will give you about 24% of your cooldown, but if you replace one copy with bountiful wells, you'll create 2 wells, and 2 wells at 3 utilities gives you about 36% dodge back. This translates to about 10 to 15 seconds off each dodge. But here's the thing, we're making void wells, and picking up a well that matches your subclass actually grants ability energy to every uncharged ability, as opposed to if we were on another subclass where it would only activate on the least charged ability. So why not go Void to take advantage of all of that free ability energy? There's a couple of other reasons why Void is a good pick here. Mobius Quiver does excellent super damage as a payoff for Dynamo, and Vanishing Step takes advantage of all of the dodges for frequent invisibility. But if that's all we've got, then we've got a bit of a problem. So far everything in this setup has been defensive. Sure, you can dodge all day and get your supers pretty fast, but you need some spice or your fire team will just take all of the kills. In my case, that spice would either be Osteo Striga or Graviton Lance. My reasoning goes like this. We want fast supers. That means we have a Void Helmet for Dynamo and the Void Well mods. If we also want to make Orbs of Power to get faster supers, then we're going to have to either run Void, Harmonic, or Kinetic Siphon. Osteo and Graviton are the best ad-clear exotics that meet those requirements. As a nice bonus, they also both have champion mods this season. This is plenty for the build to function in easy content, so let's dip into the subclass and try to make it raid ready. Back before Witch Queen launched, Bungie said in their Vidoc that Void 3.0 Hunter's focus is invisibility and debuffing. We have the invisible part down thanks to all of those dodges, so debuffing seems like the way to go. Let's run down the list real quick. The Snare Bomb melee already spreads weaken, and the Shadow Shot supers debuff anything that they don't outright kill. Suppressor Grenade is also an option, but I don't like it. I tend to suppress myself at the worst possible times. So my choice is actually to use the Void Wall grenades and use the Fragment Echo of Undermining, which adds a weaken effect. In short, every ability we can throw out has debuff potential, so personally I don't really see the need for Trapper's Ambush. Instead, Stylish Executioner is my play in order to get the extra fragment slot. Speaking of fragments, it's time to move on to my favorite 2 fragment combo, Echo of Persistence and Echo of Starvation. Together they make for great survivability. Echo of Starvation is currently the only way to proc Devour on a hunter, it just requires you to pick up an orb to start the chain. Normally this stacks up to 10 seconds after multi-kills, but with Echo of Persistence, every void buff we can get will actually last 50% longer, meaning that Devour can stack up to 15 straight seconds, alongside your invisibility going from 5 seconds to 7 seconds after every dodge. Which means that running out into the middle of the enemies in order to grab those orbs is perfectly safe. Echo of Starvation also has the nice secondary effect of making every orb you pick up fully heal you because it procs Devour. In my final fragment slot, I usually run with Echo of Reprisal, which gives a chunk of super energy for getting kills while you're surrounded. It's a very noticeable amount. But I do frequently swap this out for Echo of Remnants, which makes my Void Wall weakening grenades last longer. Although that's mostly for harder content where I can't safely stay in the middle of everything. Almost there. The final component of this build is the Armor Exotic. I've tried a few, but I finally settled in on Star Eater scales. It makes the most sense for this Dynamo abuse build. The whole point is to build super quickly after all. It also has some nice synergy with Echo of Starvation, because you can actually pick up orbs even when your super is full in order to proc the Devour effect. This way you don't have to worry about holding on to your super for too long, hurting your survivability. Finally, since we aren't using a heavy exotic weapon, Star Eaters helps our super make up for the damage difference. If you don't have Star Eater scales though, Frosties are a great alternative because you'll be sprinting out of your dodge fairly often. In fact, if you use Frosties, with about 80 mobility and all of the reaping and utility well mods, you'll actually be able to stay permanently invisible in between kills. But that's not really how this game is played. Overall, I'm fairly satisfied with this build. It's versatile in terms of playstyle, so long as you're dodging all of the time. And even though it falls off a bit in Master difficulty and up, since you can't safely take advantage of Dynamo or Echo of Reprisal, swapping those two over to another Siphon mod and switching to Trapper's Ambush in order to invis your allies fixes that problem. The subclass setup still favors solo content, but it's no slouch in multiplayer, especially 3-player activities like dungeons. Debuffing targets makes for versatile support, while Devour paired with Osteo or Graviton makes for some tanky play and great ad player. If you want to double down on tankiness, you could even replace a Well of Utility mod with a Well of Tenacity mod in order to get a time-limited 50% damage resistance, at the cost of your dodging. For the combat demo, I'll be running a few Legend Lost sectors, because I think that's where this build works the best. I've also got a copy of Perpetuation on my Void-focused cloak in order to dodge more often. Once again, thanks for your time, and I'll see you around.